Good morning, Win Daily. Good morning, Ghost. How we doing? Week 13, man. The year flew by. I thought we were just having some fun for a couple weeks watching football. Now it's almost over. I don't know what to think about that, but I am repping King Henry for you guys. I'm not sure if he's my top play today, but for what he's done for me this year, I got to show the respect to King.
I love it. Let's go. 13 weeks in already, man. Wow.
Yeah, it's flew by. I feel like this slate is getting as old as Rocker. Or this port season. I don't know. Sorry, Rock. You didn't deserve that. Let's go into it. First game, Cleveland and King Henry's Tennessee Titans. The highest total on the board, which really surprised me a ton. Last night, I saw Tannehill's ownership was nothing. Now he's looking at the 5 to 10 range. So he's getting pretty popular, but it makes sense. That was one thing that blew my mind last night is no one was playing the quarterbacks in the highest total game on the slate. I don't know if I agree with this total, but Tennessee does play insanely fast. I wrote about that last night, which is really weird to think about when they give Derrick Henry 20, 25 carries a game. You'd think that's a team that wants to milk the clock, but they just go because apparently Derrick Henry can go all day long and kind of just tear up the defense. And no one wants to tackle this guy for 4 quarters straight. So I love the way they play. I think Vrabel's a genius. I know he's not the offensive coordinator or anything like that, but he's just a great coach, and you're seeing a lot of good things from this Titans team. So Titans Appreciation Day. Ghost, what do you think about this game?
This is my top GPP stack. So death, taxes, Titans stocks after Thanksgiving. That's a thing. They absolutely blow up from weeks 12 to 17. And it's Tannehill to A.J. Brown for me today. No Denzel Ward on the other side. Even if he was playing, A.J. Brown's just an athletic freak. You pretty much can't guard this guy. A lot of people end up saying that about DK Metcalf. And, you saw that infamous picture on Twitter there with both of them working out together, and everyone's kind of forgetting necessarily that A.J. Brown is pretty much the same kind of athlete. So A.J. Brown for me multiple times. Tannehill's my top GPP quarterback. The ownership is creeping up a little bit, but it's still at a point where I'm very comfortable rostering him. A lot of people going over to some chalkier quarterbacks that not only do I not necessarily have in my player pool, but I have zero interest in them. So I'll gladly take Tannehill at his low ownership today. Pair him with A.J. Brown. If you need the salary savings, even a guy like Corey Davis could get it done. The receptions might not be there in terms of he's not going to pull a Keenan Allen ever where he's, racking up 10 plus catches and 100 plus yards, but he's another deep ball threat that they have. And of course we have Anthony Ferkser, who at minimum price on DraftKings and near minimum price on FanDuel. I think it's a valuable play as much as, a lot of times when starters go down and we end up replacing them with backup tight ends or backup specialty positions and whatnot. Sometimes it's a bit of a trap, but Ferkser does work. He did it last season, and even this year when Jonnu missed, he went 8 catches for 113 yards and a touchdown. He's a guy that might not see 90% of the snaps. He certainly won't get there, but when he's out there, he's going to run a route. So he runs a route on over 80% of Tannehill's dropbacks. He's not there to block. They have Jeff Swaim for that. So yes, Swaim is going to end up playing more of the snaps, but when Ferkser's out there, that he's going to catch a ball. So absolutely love this whole Titans offense. And of course, King Henry, you don't really need to talk about that. It's Derrick Henry month. You could play him every single week. Ownership is creeping up. So a little bit of recency bias compared to last week to the people who missed out, but you could end up going to Derrick Henry as well. On the other side, Nick Chubb's an absolute beast, racking over 100 yards in his past 3 games and finding the end zone 3 times there. So I really do think the Browns end up running the ball a lot today. And there's 2 guys that are really on my radar for GPPs, and that's Kareem Hunt and Rashard Higgins. So with the amount of injuries that the Browns have on the offensive end, I know that they always run the ball. That's the Stefanski offense that they have. But considering that they don't really have many receiving threats outside of Jarvis Landry right now, Rashard Higgins is a great play for me today, and he's one of my top GPP wideouts. He clocked in at a 4.6. I'm calling BS on that. This guy's way faster than that. So been watching some tape, and he ends up creating such separation between 4 and 6 yards in that one double move on Malcolm Butler, this guy's gone for a 70-yard touchdown. So if Baker does end up airing it out, it's going to be to him. So I'll gladly take that over people that are chasing Jarvis Landry's game last week. So a nice call on that, by the way. That was absolutely nuts. Calling Jarvis Landry last week. So nice job on that. This week I'm going Rashard Higgins and Kareem Hunt. you know what? His work has been slightly limited in the past couple of weeks, but I think he gets the job done today. They're going to rely on him, a bunch of dump offs, and especially if they do end up chasing points, as much as Nick Chubb is running like an absolute monster right now, they're going to need to throw the ball. So give me Kareem Hunt.
Okay, Jarvis Landry week. That was a fun time, man. I do like Kareem Hunt. I wrote about him in the GPP article too. I was like, he's only 5,400. He's gonna get 15 plus touches. Yeah. I know there's tons of other guys in that price range. You got Booker, you got Montgomery. You can go up a little bit to Gaskin. You can go down a little bit to Damian Harris. You can go all the way down to Frank Gore, as disgusting as that sounds. But I think Kareem Hunt, man, he's the forgotten child. If this is the highest total game on the slate, I think Kareem Hunt is probably I'm going to say out of that group. So we got Montgomery, we got Booker, we got Gaskin. I'm not going to put Frank Gore in that. Do you want to put Damian Harris in there? It's like no one's playing Damian Harris, so do we even need to mention him? So let's go with the three. All right, let's go with the three chalk.
We'll go with the three chalk. The three chalk.
Booker, Gaskin, and Montgomery. I think Kareem Hunt finishes second, if not first, out of that group in overall points scored. So I will not build a lineup with both of them unless it's a cash game, both of them being a Booker, Montgomery, Gaskin, 2 out of 3, because you're already getting at like 60% aggregate ownership just by doing that. And you really don't want a GPP lineup with over like 140 aggregate ownership, maybe 150 at the highest. It's just you're getting so with the grain when you're building a lineup with that much aggregate ownership. And what I mean by that is, take everybody's ownership projection, total it up, aggregate. I think that's the right word. It's been a while since I went to math class, but you get it. So I think Kareem Hunt, man, you in? You're in too. It sounds
I'm
like
I'm in 100%. He's in my main right now.
Perfect.
I absolutely love him on both sides. On FanDuel, nobody's playing him. He's under 3% owned because exactly like DraftKings, you have Montgomery that's $100 cheaper and Booker that's $300 cheaper. So no one's playing Kareem Hunt on FanDuel. He's under 3% right now. And on DraftKings, I feel like that's the perfect pivot in a GPP. I pretty much, whenever I end up making my main for my single entries GBPs, I take my cash game lineup and I make, 1 or 2 pivots because I stick to the same core for my single entries and my cash. And that was a very easy pivot for me when I ended up seeing Kareem Hunt at 5,400. I thought I was like, man, I'm gonna have to find a way to pay an extra 1,000 for Kareem Hunt or something, to get a
he's
good
usually
GPP
like 6 plus. Yeah,
he's right there. You could just remove Montgomery or Booker from your lineup if you want to have one of them. That's okay. But when we're talking single entry GPPs, Kareem Hunt is the perfect pivot for me in that range on DraftKings. And on FanDuel, it's almost the exact same thing. Monty's $100 cheaper and Booker's $300 cheaper. Kareem Hunt's sitting there under 3% ownership. I love it. They're going to use him in the red zone too. They don't really have many people in the red zone there, so I like it. I'm all over Kareem Hunt. For
Dude,
GBP
let's go.
for the
I love that you're on that too. For one thing, I mean, we obviously love Nick Chubb as well. Like we don't need to talk about that. We always love Nick Chubb, but again, you're getting exposure to the second best run offense in the NFL very cheaply in the same price as all of the chalk with Kareem Hunt. Jeffrey Simmons, if he is out, he's the nose tackle or one of the tackles. I think he's the nose tackle last time I kind of reviewed their game.
That'd be huge for Chubb.
Yeah, both of them, Chubb, Hunt. Like you want exposure to this game, and again, man, I love it. I'm so good. It took me till last night to figure out like Kareem Hunt was my guy for GPPs because I was like, well, who do I play out of Montgomery and there's one other build I'll get into, Montgomery or Booker or Gaskin. I prefer Gaskin, then I prefer Montgomery. I was like, but playing them both just doesn't do anything for me. So let's get Chubb in for one of those guys. Moving on, you like anything with I'm off the Browns pass catchers today? I know you talked about
the only one I'm playing is Rashard Higgins. I'm not buying his 4.6 40 time. I think he's faster than that. And there's a couple plays I've been watching on his film where he just burns people inside 6 yards. Like he doesn't even get 6 yards into his route and he's gone. So is Baker going to chuck the ball for 404 today? I mean, probably not. But at the same time, this Titans team plays so fast. Like I have a feeling they're going to be chasing points. That's what Vegas thinks with the spread. It's a high game total. It only takes one play for a guy like Rashard Higgins to pay off, and nobody's playing this guy. No one's playing him.
I like it. I always like speed against Tennessee. I know you and I were texting about that, but I don't know if I could sign off on the guy named Rashard Higgins. It's just that's ugly. Quick question for Harvey here. All TDs are 6 points. Josh Allen, Josh Allen, easily, right?
Josh Allen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Player stats. We're getting into season-long playoffs. Don't overthink these matchups. Player stats.
All right. I already like the looks of this. Rodgers, Miles Sanders, Chris Carson, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman, Tanyan, Mooney, Jets. I like everything, but like Mooney's your only punt there.
You think you read your article?
Yeah, I don't. I only
like everyone in your article.
Yeah, I know. I love that. I want to play Mooney with Trubisky, I think, but I don't know. What do you think about that? Like Jets defense, it's the punt because you're getting like the rest of that lineup's like. Do you need Justin Jefferson in this lineup?
That's what I was about to say. Like I really like having one of Adam Thielen or Justin Jefferson in your lineups today, but that's because I have James Robinson in every single lineup. So if you're working the back and forth there in a mini stack where you're running James Robinson and then you're taking one of the Vikings wide receiver, which you might as well flip a coin at that point, then it works. But the fact that you have no Jags in here, I feel like you could afford to come off Jefferson.
What if you went down to, sorry to cut you off, like if you went down to Brandon Cooks or like, because you don't have any chalk in this lineup at all. I'm not saying you have to, but it's not a bad spot to go if you need to get off Mooney.
You could even go Corey Davis and Kareem Hunt if you want the game that we were just talking about. High scheme.
Ooh, shit. You could afford that, can't you?
You could come off Jefferson for Corey Davis and then put Hunt in your flex for Mooney.
That is like that aggregate ownership of that lineup's going to be like 50 total. Like that's so low. Yeah, I like that a ton. Or go to like Kiki Kuti or Brandon Cooks to go back and forth with Michael Pittman in that game. That should be an up-paced game, and then just see what flex you can get if you can maybe do David Montgomery, Myles Gaskin, Booker, or Kareem Hunt. I would go with probably one of the chalker guys there, but I love that. I think if you find a way to make Mooney David Montgomery and then just move Carson to the flex, because obviously you want your later guys going in case you need to move off of somebody, but I love using the combo of Sanders and Carson. I think that's like the mid-tier running backs that I mentioned earlier. All right. So what's your guess on Chubb? Ooh, I'll tell you.
He posted an Instagram story with him in a Batman suit. So,
oh shit,
might go for over 200.
I did not factor that in.
We got to put that in the model. The Batman Instagram story factor. It's like, I don't know, might be like a 2.5 multiplier on his projection.
I only have Nick Chubb projected for 92 rushing yards. That is what the model says. That will go up if
Jeffrey Simmons is out.
Yeah, if Simmons is out, that'll probably go up. I'll bump it like 8 to 9 yards. So I'll put him right around 100. I'm never really going to project anybody outside of Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook over 100 yards these days, just because how the volume for those guys is insane. But touchdowns, I think he gets in the box for sure. It's the model says he's got an 88% chance at a touchdown, so I would put that line at like minus 300 to score. I'll actually look at what Vegas has his ass to score, but let's see. Got any thoughts on that?
I think 100 yards and a touchdown is very feasible for Nick Chubb today, but he might have a stealing game if Jeffrey Simmons is out. He's by far their best run defender, by far, and especially with Clowney out now, their defensive line takes a big hit there, and when Nick Chubb gets into open field, that's a scary thought.
Yeah, I like the Browns to cover this game. I think I got it at 6 earlier in the week, though, but now it's low. It's like 4 or something. Could even go Chubb, Hunt, Higgins, Tannehill, Brown, Frisker. Yeah, I mean, you could. I don't think I want to play Chubb and Hunt together, though, do you? It's like when one's doing something, the other guy is straight up getting a 0. So, like, there's no correlation there at all, unless you just think the Browns run for 340 yards a day and 3 scores. That would be good. But yeah, we already went over best value tight end. Gabriel Davis gives me Chubb and Pittman. You can't go Gabe Davis ever again. Oh, wait, how do you get Gabe Davis? He's not on the slate.
Yeah, he's not on the main slate. Unless you're playing Sunday to Monday.
Oh, would you? I haven't even looked at that game much. I just ran the prelim projections. I try to give you guys my full effort on the main slate, so I cannot answer that question. Maybe it's Corey Davis.
If it's Corey Davis, gives you Chubb and Pittman gives me Chris Carson. No, because Corey Davis is more expensive than Pittman, and Chubb is $1,500 more than Chris Carson. Unless it's FanDuel. If it's FanDuel, yeah. But
just give us a little more.
Yeah, Sunday, Monday. They just
Sunday, Monday.
Sunday, Monday. Haven't really looked at that game all that much. Gabe Davis was my stud last week, but
it was more just that game in general, right?
Yeah,
Seattle.
Like the game pace was there.
If you need someone that cheap, just play Kuti in cash, right? If you need anybody
especially if it's cash, you could like. Do I think Kuti has a good game this week? No, like I'm not playing him in GPPs at all, but he's going to be over 50% owned likely in cash. Where if he puts up a donut, it doesn't matter. Basically like 50% of the field is cashing, and if he's 50% owned, it doesn't matter.
He's not getting a donut. He's got a 4.5 catch rate, guys. Like he's going to get you 8 points. That's a bad game.
Okay,
I don't like him by any means, but that's your punt, not Gabe Davis.
A guy like Gabe Davis in cash is pretty risky. I did it last week because I was so high on him, but I haven't looked enough into that game to play him in cash.
He was 3K though, right? He was dead.
Yeah, he was bare min price, dead min price.
And like you said, he played 90% of the snaps when John Brown's out. So I mean, Ghost was just dead on with that Gabe Davis call. You sick son of a bitch. I loved it.
Thank you.
Do you guys think Gaskin's production is hindered by 2? I don't think so at all. I think it helps. Right? I mean, this offense is just going to play slower.
We were talking about this game yesterday. Like, I think Miami is perfectly fine with winning this game 21-3. Like, they're not going to onslaught like on the offensive side of the ball. So Gaskin's going to get 15 to 20 touches on the ground, and even if he averages like a modest 4 yards per carry, it's still 80 yards and probably going to score. So I like it. Even whether it's Tua or Fitz, I don't really mind. I actually prefer that it's Tua because Fitz is just going to go out there and ball out because he has nothing to lose. He'll go and throw 4 touchdowns.
Let's get into a game. We're 20 minutes in. We only got one game. Indy Houston. I am 100% out on Deshaun Watson. I get it if you like him, but I think Will Fuller was the spark that made this engine turn on. If that's I'm not a mechanical engineer or anything. I don't know if that's the right phrase, but you guys know I always make up just stupid ass phrases. Brandon Cooks, most heavily owned receiver on this slate. I think in cash you just lock him in GPPs. I think I want to fade completely. Because again, I think he's obviously a good player, but when Will Fuller demands the best coverage and safety help, I think that opened up everything for Brandon Cooks in the middle of the field because Brandon Cooks really doesn't run any deep routes anymore. He's not the burner we all thought he was years ago. I think he's a fine play in cash, but I do not think this guy has a ceiling game at all to help you in a GPP. What about you?
I'm playing him in cash just because he's going to be like over 70% owned probably in cash lineups. So you pretty much have to because if he somehow finds a way to score, then I don't want to say you're dead because your pivot could end up working. There's a lot of guys in that range that are in good spots, but a 70% owned Brandon Cooks in cash for me, you just have to lock it in. So I'm playing him in cash, but other than that, I hate to do this to you. I have no interest in this game at all. Zero interest.
Pittman's my lock of the week.
And the reason why is because Anthony Costanzo is out. And Phillip Rivers will not be, bro. They're 2-11 without Costanzo in the lineup.
I know it's a big deal.
The one game that he missed earlier this season was against the Browns, and Phillip Rivers threw for 243 yards, completed under 60% of his passes, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and took a safety.
So and now they're saying JJ Watt's is going to beat his ass all game.
And now they're saying he needs surgery on his foot, as if this guy wasn't already immobile as it is. Now they're saying he needs surgery on his foot. Bro, noodle arm season will be in full effect, and I don't see him moving the ball. I really don't. Like without Anthony Costanzo there protecting him, like I don't know. Like to me, losing your blindside tackle is such a big deal. Like I don't know. It completely changes their offense. The stats indicate that too. So I don't know. Like theory-wise, it makes sense. Vegas has the game total ridiculously high. The spread is tight. But are we really going to trust noodle arm season, bro? Like I don't know.
Do you want to take the
without his left tackle? Like the guy can't move. Have you seen this guy try and scramble?
Yeah, it's not good.
Like it's not pretty. So I don't know. JJ Watt might outscore Phillip Rivers, but anyways.
All right, that is a ballsy take of the day. Well, it's not. No, I'm going to give it to you. All right, I'm still going with Michael Pittman for this reason. One, I don't care how bad the Colts offensive line may or may not be today. Vernon Hargreaves is worse at football. Whatever impact he has on the game, he is terrible. He is now their number one corner. Their number one corner. Number two, every other corner on this Houston team is dreadful. So again, Bradley Roby got caught juicing. I love this story. The fact that Brian Cushing was like the dude that got popped for steroids like 9 times in his life. God. He was the strength and conditioning coach. And Will Fuller pleads I don't know. My doctor said it's good. Like, what the fuck? You're doing business with Brian Cushing. What do you think? That guy's a psycho.
I think Will Fuller was just tired. He's like, you know what? I just had a monster game.
It clearly worked.
I'm done with this season. So
the steroids clearly worked because Will Fuller was healthy as shit and just dominating this year. So kids, if you're looking to do steroids, they help your career, but you're going to get suspended. So weigh your options there. Other reason I like Michael Pittman, he doesn't run deep routes. Like, yeah, he's a big body guy, but he just runs intermediary routes, 8.3 average depth of target. And then if we want to look at the last 3 weeks for him, still pretty low, right around that 9 range. So he's not the guy that needs a ton of time to get open like T.Y. Hilton or, if you want to talk about Marcus Johnson when he gets on the field. He's like Michael Pittman came in to kind of take away snaps from Zach Pascal. So I like Pittman. I think he gets 5 or 6 catches here. I think in the red zone he's going to be a threat, but they always use these 3 damn tight ends in Indy. But at $4,900 against the cornerback, I think I like to pick on the most now that Bradley Roby's out. I didn't pick on Bradley Roby prior, but with Roby out, I think this puts Vernon Hargreaves in like a Nick Needham and Teron Johnson territory for me. Like, I'm going to pick on this Houston secondary as much as I can for the few weeks we have remaining. So I love Pittman. You got any love for the running game? I think the running game is what, like, I was into Jonathan Taylor. We always say free John Taylor, but now that this offensive line, I think that's where it really hurts. I think they're going to use these running backs to pass block and get my boy Michael Pittman the ball.
I like it.
All right.
I like it. Very convincing.
You like Jordan Akins at all at 2,900? I know he's super popular today. I just want to look people.
We don't play running, but like if I asked anybody in the chat right now or anybody listening, would you play a running back in a timeshare? The majority will likely say no. You have trouble playing Melvin Gordon when Philip Lindsay. Like, I'm not talking Philip Lindsay 2020. I'm talking, like, let's say a year or two ago Philip Lindsay. Like, if Melvin Gordon was there at that time, Denver running back situation's ugly. Now the Colts running back situation's ugly. So we avoid running back timeshares. Why are we playing tight ends in timeshares that are over 20% owned? Like, bro, like Akins has 51% of the snaps. Pharaoh Brown has 44% of the snaps, and then Darren Fells played 36% of the snaps on Thanksgiving. Like, why are we playing tight ends in timeshares? Like, I get that the targets are there. Will Fuller missing is like it opens up so many targets for all of these guys. But the question is, who gets it? Like, you can make a legitimate argument that Brandon Cooks and Kuti and whoever else is there, I think it's Coulter, like, them alone will end up soaking up targets. Now we're adding 3 tight ends into the fact. You have David Johnson coming back out of the backfield. You have Duke Johnson that's still there as a scat pack. Like, bro, why are we playing tight ends in timeshares? Like, I don't get it. I'm completely off it. If they score, my bad, but I'm completely off it. I'm not taking a chance on a guy that plays that they're basically looking to the left and looking to the right and saying, whose turn is it to go out on the field? I'm out.
I'm out too. I respect the hell out of that take. That was a nice rant. I like the fire from you today, Ghost. Yeah, I'm out on that too. I'd rather just go to Ferkser at 2,500. He is the pass catching tight end there, and then find my way up to better players that we'll get into later.
Yep.
Vegas Raiders, New York Jets. We got to move a little bit here. I'm going to say it. Sam Darnold is in play for me today. You know how much I love picking on the Vegas Raiders secondary. Is in play today means like he's min price. He's $5K, dirt cheap on DraftKings. You can pair him up with Perriman. You can pair him up with Mims. You can pair him up with both and just load up on a very powerful lineup. You can get Dalvin Cook. You can get Devontae Adams. You can get Miles Sanders. You can get Chris Carson. Like, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, whatever. And then run it back with Chalky Booker if you want to do that, or Darren Waller. I think Waller's the best tight end play on this slate. I don't think you have to go there this week just because, like, he's only going to be 8, 9, 10% owned. But when the best tight end on the slate is, if this was Travis Kelce and he was 10% owned, I'd say you do it in every lineup. And you know how much I like to use tight ends and interior receivers against Greg Williams in that zone defense, how much open space is going to be. Waller's going to get 5 catches. It's like, does he go for 10 for a ceiling game? That depends on the Jets keeping the pace, which I think they can do today. You could run on the Raiders defense is bad. But so is Sam Darnold. I don't want to talk about this game a whole lot. I just want you guys to know that Denzel Mims or Rashad Perriman are my favorite punt plays on this slate. I don't like to use both unless I'm using Sam Darnold in there and game stacking this a little bit. And then Henry Ruggs scores a touchdown today and take his receiving yards over as a prop. But that's all I got on this one.
I like it. On the Vegas side, if you want to go Waller, you can. I think, and anytime we don't have Kelsey, Waller instantly becomes the top tight end. But for me, it's Devontae Booker. A lot of people are worried about this Jets run defense, but I'm not really buying it. If you look at what they like, even me, I'll admit, like even last week, I was like, man, this Jets run D is pretty stout. It's not bad. It's similarly to the Giants where we attacked this team through the air. But if you look at who they played last week, they played the Dolphins. They had to sign DeAndre Washington, who couldn't even make any NFL roster. So obviously that pads their stats. Then they played the Chargers, where Kalen Ballage got cut by Adam Gase. Speaks for itself. The Patriots are the one of 2 teams that can run the football that they played. They ran for over 160 yards on them. The Chiefs don't run the football. Mahomes is just out there balling out. Same with the Bills. Then they played the Dolphins again, and Myles Gaskin went 18 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. Like for Devontae Booker to be averaging 5.5 yards per carry, anytime he has over 6 rushes, he has over 70 yards and a touchdown. Like I think it's a good play, but it's really chalky for GPPs. So if you are playing him in GPPs, you got to get different somehow. Like to the lineup that we were looking at before, where the aggregate ownership was like maybe 50%, if that. Like that's a spot where you could end up playing a guy like Devontae Booker. But I'm playing him in cash, and I'm gonna see if he's in my main GPP. I'm right now he is, and I'm pretty confident in that. I think he has a really good game.
All right. Any other thoughts on this one?
I'm with you on the Jets. I like it.
All right.
I don't play Jets in 2020, but I trust you. So if you tell me to play Jets, I'm gonna consider.
I'm saying play
on
DraftKings.
On DraftKings.
Yeah. Don't go nuts here. Don't take it the wrong way. But yeah, I will have Mims or Perriman most likely in almost every one of my lines, just because that's my salary relief. Those guys both have a 4.5 catch prop, 50-yard receiving. No better value on the slate, in my opinion. Moving on, the Saints Atlanta. I don't have any interest in this game whatsoever, but can you invest in Alvin Kamara at 5% ownership? No. I know people keep asking about him in Discord. Like, I love the guy so much, but it just seems like with Taysom Hill, he's just not a factor in this offense, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I really do not like it, but is this the week they get right against Atlanta, who bleeds receptions to opposing running backs, or what do you do here?
The one, like, I guess we could end up playing both sides of the coin here, where we could say, look, Taysom Hill, like, I don't want to say takes away all of Alvin Kamara's touchdown upside, but pretty damn close to it, where he's just running in the ball all the time. But on the flip side, we can argue that Atlanta has played a Taysom Hill-led offense, right? That was his first game where he started. So they do have some film on him for, a full game where Taysom Hill was running that offense. So could they get it right? Yes. Do I think they get it right? No. I think Taysom Hill just ends up doing his thing. The one and only guy that I'm playing from this game is Julio Jones. If he's active, like we're hearing that he's likely to be, but I just need confirmation on that. $6,600 Julio Jones with nobody playing him. Sign me up.
Okay. Julio Jones. Dude, every time I fade him, yeah, it's a really good spot for Julio Jones. Let's get to some questions here. I need to think about Julio Jones because I don't have any lineups with him, and he could break.
It's coming in at 2% right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Gaskin is in today, best receiver today. To me, Devontae Adams sounds like Ghost really loves Julio for GPPs. You can answer that question many different ways. I think overall the best wide receiver today for the price, like actual value, best plays are going to be DJ Chark and Michael Pittman, but we'll get into those games in a bit. All right.
At the end, we always do our top plays per position.
Yeah, that's true. We should do that. Rodgers, Monty, J-Rob, Thielen, Kupp, Cooks, Firsker, Carson, Lyons. I love that. minus Lions defense against Monty. But if it's the only thing that works, run it.
Swap
Patriots
Woods
D?
in there for Cup, and then go Chargers D over Lions.
Boom. There you go. Yeah, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, same thing. Let's go with Robert Woods. I think actually made the cash game article this week. So let's go. Wasn't there any big rain game? I haven't seen anything for weather really at all that's bad. I think just wind, potential rain in Chicago, but it looks clear right now, just cloudy. What if Atlanta gets the lead? Kamara more in play, only if Julio's in. Yeah, no, I'm not telling you not to play Kamara. Like, if you got a gut feeling and you play this dude, no one's going to play him. So I like the skill set. The projections didn't love him, but sometimes you just got to say the hell with projections and go with your gut. Jerry, clear weather. Yep. Yeah. Oh, chance of snow. Nice. I don't see any snow right now.
This is the cheapest we will get Kamara to, by the way. Yeah. 7,000 on DraftKings. That's the cheapest we'll ever get him.
DK Cash, Aaron Rodgers, James Robinson, Montgomery, Jefferson Woods, Cooked, Eckler, Falcons. That's pretty fucking good, isn't it? Sorry for the Lakers guys, but that's a really good lineup. I don't love Falcons D, but if it makes the rest of it work, let's go. Kyler, Gaskin, Gallman, QT, Landry, Robin, FanDuel Cash. Ooh, what do you think? I don't know.
No Kyler and Cash. No Kyler and Cash. He's my number
I'm cool
two.
With Kyler.
He's my number 2 GPP quarterback, but not in Cash. I don't think
play him in Cash.
You can, but
Kyler Murray, guys. One bad week, we're not off Kyler Murray. Stop.
I'm looking. No. I told you I went on this huge thing saying he's going to win MVP and he's going to run the table. So I'm big on Kyler.
Continue
this week,
for a while. I got to pour a beer.
But for me, it's you need to come off Kyler to upgrade your skill positions. So Gallman's in a tough spot with Colt McCoy leading that offense. QT is he's fine in Cash. I'm not on it, especially on FanDuel, where it's not full point PPRs, but you could get there. Landry might be chasing that game from last week. Allen Robinson is a smash play for me. Darren Waller and Dalvin Cook. Let me check something for you here. If you end up going top owned wide receivers on FanDuel right now, you need Brandon Cooks in your lineup. That's one thing. So find a way to get off QT and go Brandon Cooks, because he's going to be 60 to 70% owned in Cash. So that's the one thing that I will recommend. And you could easily do that by coming off Kyler. Sorry, Stix. He is my number. He's my number 2.
You don't need him in Cash. You
don't need him. That's what we're saying. I'm not saying that it's a bad play. We're saying you don't need him. It's not a necessity.
All right. Well, you're driving me to drink. I got my DraftKings bug here. Pretty cool.
I love it.
Let's go. Get ready for the live final. Moving on. Detroit, Chicago. I gonna say it. The Bears, Trubisky, Allen Robinson, Mooney, Montgomery. I think these guys go nuts today. As long as the weather stays decently, respectable. Detroit is out Okudah. They're out Desmond Trufant. They're out Danny Shelton. They're number 1 nose tackle. So Montgomery, Lane's going to open up for him. Finally, I know we saw him do well last week, but that was the Packers. Everybody does well against them. Everybody does well against Detroit. I think you can stack up the Bears. I think they're my second favorite stack. The only issue I have here is with Detroit on the run back. Like, do they score at all? Maybe we play Hawkinson. There's no Galladay, who usually tears up the Bears. That's my concern. Do they score at all? Like, am I a little too high on the Bears, knowing that Detroit cannot push the pace of this game here?
I like this game. Bevel taking over for Patricia. He said that he wants to push the pace. Considering he's an offensive-minded guy, I think they'll let their DC run his thing, which means that their DBs are going to suck. Like, even though Okudah and Trufant are out, that alone leads us to attack this Detroit defense. But the fact that Bevel has nothing to do with the defensive side of the ball. He's an offensive-minded guy. He's going to let their DC run his usual scheme that he was running with Patricia. I don't think they're going to make a switch up like this where they're going to change their whole defensive scheme. And Trubisky has shredded this for his entire career. The past 4 games, he's thrown for 12 touchdowns. So I like Trubisky this week. We've been saying it for 7 days now. I said it Sunday at the end of the Sunday main slate. I said, "Oh boy, Trubisky against Detroit." You know what that means. So I'm all over it, sticking to our guns there. And Allen Robinson is my favorite wide receiver on the board today, other than Devontae Adams, but that one doesn't really need explanation. So Allen Robinson to Trubisky. Monty Chalk is there, but he's not a yards per carry monster, but I think he'll fall into the end zone. And his biggest games come with Trubisky under center, and that's because he likes to throw him the ball too. So, when Tariq Cohen was there, he loved to throw to Tariq Cohen. So fire up Monty, A-Rob, Trubisky, and I do like TJ Hawkinson on the way back. No Marvin Hall. So happy because now people could stop punting with Marvin Hall. You could always go back to Marvin Jones too. You never know. Stafford's going to throw to who he's comfortable with. I don't think it's going to be Quintus Cephas and Sanu. So Hawk and Marvin Jones on the way back. I definitely prefer Hawkinson though.
Okay. I think Hawkins is probably my guy too. Like he's just so damn consistent, but I love it. I love this Bears offense. I love the Bears defense too. So in lineups, you don't want to stack them, or if you don't want to stack them at all, I do not blame you. I think Detroit does have a hard time scoring here. The Bears defense at 3,100 is just way too cheap on DraftKings. I don't know the price on FanDuel, but DraftKings said is such a good value. No Washington and Pitt today. Let's get to some questions. We finally got back on pace a little bit. Ooh, Cook or Henry? I'm going Dalvin Cook, man. There's no Alexander Madison. He's got like appendicitis or something, so it should just be him unless they trust CJ Ham, Mike Boone, or Amir Abdullah. I think's the other guy. It should just be all Dalvin Cook. 10-point favorite. Maybe if well, that's the thing though too. I think Jacksonville covers. I think I got them at 10.5 for those that are on the betting sheet with us. I put that one pretty early in the week. I think Jacksonville can score here. I think, again, Chark has a huge day. Let's just talk about this game. Wow, we're at Jacksonville, Minnesota. 10-point favorite now for Minnesota. I think we got 10.5 with Jacksonville, so we got, a half-point kicker there in our favor. I'll speak for Ghost. His favorite play on the slate is James Robinson at running back at 7,300 on DraftKings. I think he's really affordable on FanDuel as well. My favorite play, one of the favorite plays on the slate is DJ Chark on DraftKings at 5,400. This guy's a wide receiver 1, priced like, who's he priced? He's priced like a wide receiver 2.5. He's like same price as Corey Davis, but DJ Chark's going to get.
He's only $400 more than Alan Lazard, guys like that.
Yeah, here's some free money for you too, real quick. What was his prop? The prop on. Figure it out, Nick. DJ Chark, 4.5 catches right now on FanDuel is plus money on the over. Go hit that. So you get more than you get more than $1 back on your dollar bet on there. So I think it's $1.14 to your dollar. So there you go. What else do you like about this game? I love Dalvin Cook, but dude, his price is so expensive. I think my favorite thing to do this week is just to pack in those mid-tier running backs, the Miles Sanders, the Chris Carson, the Myles Gaskin, the one of Myles Gaskin, Hunt, Booker, and Montgomery, right? I think that's the best way to go and load up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's, as much as we would love to play lineups with both Henry and Cook, or at least one of them, there's guys down there. James, like you said, James Robinson is my favorite running back on the board. And he's over $2,200 less expensive than both Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry on FanDuel. On DraftKings, he's priced up. But again, you look at him and Austin Eckler there without getting too much into that Chargers game. They're both $2,000 plus in savings. That could be a difference between playing a guy like for like $4,500 wide receivers. Like that range is not pretty today, which is why like Rashard Higgins sticks out for me in that range. Like there's no bona fide value wide receiver where I'm like, man, I absolutely need this guy in my lineup. Like I want Allen Robinson in my lineup. I want Adam Thielen in my lineup. I want Devontae Adams in my lineup. Like I want to pay up there. And with all the value that's there at running back, you don't necessarily have to, punt any other position other than tight end. You have Ferguson that's there at min price. And then without getting too much into the Packers game, Robert Tonyan's price is a joke on DraftKings. Like I like the mid-range running backs. Can you play Dalvin Cook? Yeah, absolutely. I think he smashes today, but not to the point where he like it's if you don't have him, you can't win a GPP. I think James Robinson and Austin Eckler could get you there with the upgrade that you get over a wide receiver.
I like it. So to answer Mike's question, Cook or Henry, I agree with everything you said, though. I don't think that any of them are a must, but who are you taking? I'm going Cook by a nose, but I am wearing a Derrick Henry jersey, so it's kind of sacrilegious.
I'll take Derrick Henry. I think Minnesota is going to be. The reason why is because I actually agree with you. I think Minnesota is going to be in a bit more trouble than they anticipate today.
All right. Anything else on this Jacksonville Minnesota game? Do you have any love for Kyle Rudolph or anything? Rudolph's pretty cheap too.
So the reason why I liked Kyle Rudolph last week, and it ended up paying off really well. I was happy that I got him into my main. The reason why I liked him is because when Dalvin Cook doesn't score, especially like when he gets stuffed inside the 5, they run these small routes to Thielen, and he ends up catching these 5, 4, 3-yard touchdowns, which puts every Dalvin Cook owner on absolute tilt. And Adam Thielen was out last week, so that's what happened with Rudolph. Yeah. Adam Thielen's back this week, so yes, Irv Smith is still out, so the catches may be there, but he's still a number 4 option behind Thielen, Jefferson, and Cook. So Rudolph if you have to, but it's not like a priority for me this week like it was last week.
All right, let's get to some questions. Tannehill, Hunt, Robinson, AJ Brown, Thielen, Metcalf, Ferkser, Higgins, Atlanta. I kind of like that, man. A little one-off DK Metcalf. Absolutely. I love this lineup, dude. Let's go Hunt, man. I think we're on something big with Kareem Hunt today. Let's see here. Kyler, Gaskin. Oh, we already did this one.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Ertz on DK, 3,900. Favorite security blanket. I wouldn't go back to Ertz. I'd play Goddard still. Just I want to see what we get from Ertz. I get the price, but I don't know. I mean, it could do worse. It is my favorite game stack, but I'd rather just go to Robert Tonyan at 3,700 to get exposure to that game, a guy that's going to be on the field all the time, or just go down to Ferkser. Colin Johnson viable at all? Absolutely not, in my opinion. No, not with DJ Chark back. Let's see. Who should Dantzler be guarding with Jags? Chark. Yeah, Cam Dantzler's bad. You get it. All right. It's going to be DJ Chark.
Thank you for watching the show every week.
But yeah, dude. DJ Chark is like, take the most talented receiver on this team at a ridiculously cheap price. DJ Chark. FanDuel Cash. A-Rod. Delvin Cook. Austin Eckler. Allen Robinson. Brandon Cooks. Crowder. Everything but Crowder, right? Get Crowder the fuck out
Yeah,
of
and
there.
switch. I absolutely love Hunt.
If you want to go, I don't want Hunt.
You could just switch Hunt for you could go Booker or Monty. You already have Allen Robinson in the lineup, so I guess you could go Booker. But I'm okay with running Monty and Robinson in cash together. That's fine. Let me find a quick pivot for you for Crowder. I haven't even looked at Crowder at all. 6,200.
Pittman.
You could go Pittman or you could go Corey Davis. But you have Ferkser in that lineup too, so fire up Pittman.
Let's go.
You get Stix's play on FanDuel, so you get the best of both of us in that lineup.
I mean, or you can go down to Perriman or Mims. They're super cheap on to keep your Jets guy if you like Crowder. Yeah, go way down. Henry, tighten up. I like that. Herbert, Allen, or Mitch Trubisky, Devontae Adams. Mitch Trubisky for me all day, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
I'm not paying $8K for Keenan Allen, especially against the Patriots. They're going to scheme something up that always messes with me. I mean, guys, we were getting Keenan Allen for 6,200 3 or 4 weeks ago. Let's sell the stock for now. I'm not paying that price for him anymore, and not $8K. But unless you think he's like the,
it was fun while it lasted. You know, when he's lining up on
game.
Yeah. When he's lining up on Lamarcus Joyner, that's fun playing him at 6,200. But playing Keenan Allen at 8,000 when I don't know, that's a lot.
All right. What about Kamara? We did talk about him.
Yeah.
David, what do you think about Len Casper, David? Now the voice of the White Sox radio. Everybody's coming to the South Side, dude. You need to do the same. Season long, 1 point PPR, Goddard or Hawkinson? Ooh. It's a great question. I like that question. I like ones that stump us. I'm going with Goddard. I'm riding the hot hand. But the Bears suck against tight ends.
Come on, make the call. Make the call. Can we agree on this one? You went Cook, I went Henry. Can we agree on this one? Come on.
All right.
Don't do this to me.
No, I do.
I'm going Hawk.
All right, give me Hawkinson. You're right.
You know why I'm going Hawk too? Not only do the Bears suck at tight end, but it's gonna make us a ton of money with our Chicago Bears stacks.
I'm fair with that. Is Akeem Hicks in too? Because like that's going to change things for this game. No practice. Oh, Akeem Hicks looks like he's going to play. Cool. Yeah, let's go Hawkinson. That's really. I don't think whatever way you go with that, David, for season long, I don't think you're going to lose your matchup due to that decision.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. How would you split and combine some of the two lineups? Ooh. You got to see, Brian, you got to post that lineup again. I remember reading it, though. I did like that Cam lineup. It was Brian posted it, some Millie Maker lineups above.
Okay.
Post those again if you could, and we'll look at those or DM us on Discord. Booker or Gaskin? Booker has better props for whatever that's worth if you want to trust Vegas and the market that the public sets betting them. But I think Gaskin's probably the better play. It's a better matchup against Cincinnati. The dude's not going to leave the field. There's no one healthy behind him like Patrick Laird or Malcolm Perry. I think it's the only other guys that could suit up at the running back spot. So I think I'd go Gaskin. The dude was, what was he? He was top 10 in touches per game before he got hurt. So even when they did have healthy backups behind him. What do you think?
Yeah, Booker's a smash play for me. I think if you're looking for ceiling, even though you're playing a chalky guy like Booker in a GBP, if we're ignoring ownership for 2 seconds because both are chalky, I think Booker has the higher ceiling, but Gaskin has a safer floor. So depending on what kind of contest you're playing.
Kiki, never for the Sox. Well, you'll come around. We'll talk week 14. Kiki is in. I think someone. Coutier. I don't know who that is. Oh, Sia, where are you at? Sia's our guy. Here's the lineup. Better Millie team. We usually should not spend time talking about millionaire maker lineups. Russell Wilson, Damian Harris, Dalvin Cook, DK Metcalf, Mike Will, Isabella, First Year Monty, Seahawks. I would not play a Seattle stack with the Seahawks defense because if Russ and the boys are cooking, the Seahawks are giving up points, making Russ still throw the ball all game.
Coulter is out.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the hell's going on? Cam, Cook, J-Rob. I like the Cam lineup. We shouldn't spend much time on millionaire makeups lineup. So, all right, next game. What do we got? Cincinnati, Miami. Only guy in play for me is Myles Gaskin. I did like Parker, but not with Tua starting. Can we just move on to the next game?
Yeah. Next game.
Myles Gaskin, Miami defense. All right. Seattle, New York Giants. For the Giants, I'm not going to play anybody besides I'll have a little bit of Wayne Gallman just because he is so low owned and you can score on Seattle. So, he's getting the goal line carries and this guy just finds the end zone. It's all he does this year. It's insane. And my favorite play at the running back position all day long is Chris Carson. He is my number one running back in terms of points per dollar, like just value, what he can do to your lineup at 6,300 on DraftKings. You could do anything you want with him. He should be priced around 7K in this matchup, and he's going to get a full workload for all those that were worried about Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde's got a toe injury, and he had 15 carries for 20 yards last week. They are going to let Chris Carson do his thing. And then, man, it's hard not to always want to stack Russell and the boys, right? Well, what's your take here? I'm just going with all Carson. I hope Seattle just doesn't go nuts with Russell. Russell is my third-ranked quarterback this week, so I will have some of them in like my 150 builds. But single entry, I think to be as clear as a book with you guys, I've been only doing Tannehill, Trubisky, and Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, and then I think my two other quarterbacks are Russell Wilson and Sam Darnold. That's how disgusting my player pool is this week.
Yeah, we have the same 3 quarterbacks. So I don't want to say I'm out on Russ. It's not a preferable stock for me just because I don't think the Giants are going to be able to keep up with McCoy under center. If you are playing a Giant, I think it's got to be Gallman. I'm on board there. They're going to try and keep Seattle off the field. It's the only way that they have a shot of winning this game is that Wayne Gallman goes nuts. So you can run on Seattle. They're likely to stack the box. I would be shocked if Jamal Adams was not in the front 7 the entire game. Like he's not going to play safety today. He's just going to be at the line the entire game. So presents a tough situation for Wayne Gallman, but this guy just finds a way to roll over into the end zone every single week. So if they get a turnover, they somehow they move the ball down to the red zone. Wayne Gallman's the guy that's going to get the touchdown there. And I like Seattle individual plays. I'm on board with Carson too, especially that he's active in the passing game. If we're talking about stacking Seattle, he's active in the passing game too. So Giants run D is legit, but at the same time, Carson catches passes. So I like that. And of course, DK Metcalf is in play every single week.
It's a 10.5-point home favorite running back with Chris Carson, and no one's playing him. So that's all I need to know. He's priced so low. I'm all in on him. I hope this is a spot for him. I don't want to steer you guys in the wrong way, but I haven't been this confident on a mid-tier priced running back like this in a long time. But moving on, Rams, Arizona. I feel like everybody in the world is overlooking this game, including myself. These teams play at such a high, fast pace. Like, where's Tulak Garcia? Where are those guys just not tuned in today? Like, what are their thoughts on this game? I need to know. What do you guys think about Arizona, the Rams? There's not a player in this game that's ownership's like over 20%. The Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are very high, but no one's playing Jared Goff, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I guess that's everybody's favorite one-off. Is like, okay, the public thinks they need to get a piece of this game, and I agree. Like, I think Robert Woods is probably the guy for me, but I don't necessarily want to play Robert Woods if I'm fading the rest of this game. So I'm having a really hard time figuring this game out. So it's pretty much out of my player pool, and I hate it. What do you think? Like, on paper, this should be the game that we should be stacking up the most with the pace that they play at. I don't know what's scaring me.
I absolutely love this game. Hey, I absolutely love this game, and I ended up making a lineup yesterday. I think it was like 2:30 or 3 in the morning, where I ended up making a Kyler lineup. So the injury that he had was an AC joint sprain. I've had that before. You're usually good after like 7 to 10 days. So, like, everyone's worried about Kyler's shoulder. I'm still considering it too. You never know if his body fully recovered, but this is like a borderline week 17 must-win game for them. This could be the difference between them facing the winner of the NFC East. I can't even say Giants are slotted in there right now. I can't even say that because who knows who's going to win that awful division. And it's coming from a Cowboys fan, so who knows who's going to win that division. But this could be the difference between them facing the winner of the NFC East in the first round of the playoffs or facing Seattle. Like, this game is so big for the Cards that I think I really do think Carly goes nuts. And on the other side, I do like I like Kupp and Woods. I just feel like since LA doesn't have much of a running game, I'm sticking to. I was like double thinking. I was like, man, do I end up sticking to this? I'm sticking to the take. Since LA doesn't have much of a running game, Isaiah Simmons is going to be. I don't want to say he's going to be one-on-one on Cooper Kupp. That's going to be a recipe for disaster. But he's going to be kind of in a spy where because Arizona gets torched in the slot. If their slot corner needs a bit of help, that's where Isaiah Simmons could end up being there because he doesn't have to stack the box to stop the run because LA doesn't have a run game. So I really do think McVay ends up scheming this offense for Robert Woods where he's running sweep routes, he's running a ton of bubble screens, and they're just moving the chains one thing at a time, and they're trying to keep Kyler off the field. So I like Woods on the LA side. You can go Kupp if you think that Isaiah Simmons can't get the job done with their slot cornerback, then that's okay too. Arizona does get torched in the slot, and on Arizona, man, does D-Hop eat Jalen Ramsey? Like, is that like are we concerned about that? Like, there's a lot of individual matchups to consider in this game, but I think it's being extremely overlooked strictly because of Kyler's injury.
Yeah, no, it's. Kyler grades out as QB4 for me this week in the actual points, but I think everybody's scared of the Rams defense, right? Just no matter what, we respect them. We're like, I don't want to stack against that, and everybody respects Jalen Ramsey, so there goes D-Hop, right? We don't want to play him when we can play Adams for a similar price. We can go down to Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, or Keenan Allen, whoever else is priced in that range. It's tough. I think you need to get some Kyler lineups today. He is the best fantasy quarterback of 2020. He is Ghost's MVP. Do not fade him. No one's playing him. I think it's a perfect GPP play. Just run it back with Cooper Kupp or Woods on the other side, right? And just call it a day. Just run them naked, right? You don't have to worry about D-Hop. I don't think you have to worry about Christian Kirk because when Kyler has his ceiling days, it's because he runs for 80 yards and a score or two. So that's what you're drafting him for. You don't need to worry about the passing volume and stacking him up with anybody. Just get someone on the other side because if Kyler's going nuts, the Rams are pushing the ball, and the Rams want to play fast. Arizona, they're going to play fast. No matter what defense they're playing, they're not out there to just give Kenyon Drake 25 carries and say, all right, let's win this game 14-7 11 or 10. I don't know how you get 11 with this unless there's a safety in there. Go for 2.
I feel like I feel like you could even do a reverse stack. I feel like you could do a reverse stack in this game. You run Kyler naked with Cup and Woods.
Both.
And you play the script that Kyler goes nuts and LA is just chasing points the entire time. And the Cards are just
it's only going to cut
drive after drive. You know that like if you're like, man, am I going Cup or Woods? But you know who like 70 to 80% of that offensive production is going to go to Cup and Woods. And then if you're building 150 and you want to throw in Josh Reynolds, go for it. But I'm talking like single entry 3 max. You could run Kyler naked with Cup and Woods. Reverse stack. I like that. I'm going to build it once we get off there.
Yeah, get some exposure to this game. That's what I'm going to say. All right, Julian. Cash. He always has great lineups, man. You make good ones. Rodgers, Montgomery, Booker, DK. Ooh, Metcalf and Cash. Okay, I'm cool with it. Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Robinson. Okay, so one of them's in the flex. Robinson. Is that James Robinson or Allen Robinson? If it's James Robinson, I think I'm all aboard, right?
Yeah, don't change that lineup.
Yeah, make sure that's James Robinson. You don't need to flex Allen Robinson. Rodgers, yeah, and then
it's Allen, if that's Allen Robinson, switch Allen Robinson for DK Metcalf, and then put James Robinson in your flex.
Based on history, I know Julian knows not to stack like crazy in cash games, so there's no way he has Allen Robinson and Montgomery in the same lineup for cash.
Exactly.
Good shit, man. I like that. Best play at 6,200 or less. Pay up $100 more for Chris Carson and make it work. 15-man tournament. A-Rod, J-Rob, Montgomery, Adams, Thielen, Pittman, Fursker, Gaskin, Green Bay. I like everything but Green Bay's D. But I'm not going to critique your D. That's a great build. Because you got Rodgers and Adams, like I guess those guys just play no matter what. If they don't stop till they're up 30-0, as you saw in the Bears, they were still passing. That was funny. Trubisky, Carson, Dalvin Cook, Andy Isabella, Josh Reynolds. Ooh, that is the low of a little game stack there.
You're like
Henry Titans.
You're forcing in Henry and Cook there. That's what I'm talking about. Like that's what we were saying earlier. If these guys don't get 40-point games, the mid-range running backs are so good this week, or at least we're so high on them this week, that your lineup will get beat, because that lineup is the difference between somebody having Robert Woods, Allen Robinson, Michael Pittman in their lineup versus you having Andy Isabella.
Yep. Yeah. And Josh Reynolds. And first,
think about it.
Those are 3 guys that can get you a total of 9 points, combined. Like first, there's no home run.
Yeah, like just a scenario. We're not saying to do this. I'm just saying, like, as an example, if you pivot from Cook and Henry to Eckler and James Robinson, you're saving over $4,000 in salary.
Yeah, or cut Henry
or cut one. Yeah,
or Robinson.
And it's also very low aggregate ownership in there. You could even get one of Monty, Booker, Gaskin if you want to.
Yep, I love that. And remember to put Carson in your flex if he's your late game guy, in case you need to pivot or something. You never know. You could be in second in a GPP, and the guy in front of you's got a similar lineup, and he has Carson, and you want to move it. What about Salking, Dalvin Cook, and Justin Jefferson without Kirk? I'm assuming Chris means Kirk, right? Typo.
Yeah.
It's all right. I think there are 2 of the Vikings offense is an offense you want to get exposure to. I got Trubisky with A-Rob. Yeah, if you have to go, like if Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook make it work and you love the Vikings, do it. You don't have to have the quarterback. I prefer you have the quarterback when you double stack like that, but you don't have to. Darnold, Montgomery, Robinson, Adams, Perriman, Thielen, Gaskins. Yeah, roll that. Let's go. People are having some good-ass builds today. Carson, 8K on FanDuel.
Yeah, I'm out on Carson on FanDuel. James Robinson. You got to play
DraftKings. DraftKings is that's the place for Carson. DK Cash, Rodgers, Dalvin Cook, Carson, Brandon Cooks, DJ Chark, Pittman, Fursker, Montgomery, Seahawks. Let's go to work. I like that, dude. Great build.
Crazy lineups today. Good job, everyone.
Yep, everybody's doing a hell of a job. All right, we got more questions. Holy shit, we have a ton of questions. Let's fly through this game, though. Philly, Green Bay, I think it's my favorite game on the slate. use Rodgers, use Devontae Adams, use my boy Robert Tonyan, GPP sleeper of the day, 3,700. He's going to score a touchdown. He's going to have 50 receiving yards. He's going to hit 4x value. You could run it back with Lazard if you want to on your double stacks with Adams and Rodgers. And then on the other side, my favorite running back play outside of Chris Carson is Miles Sanders. I know this guy is just not getting that many touches. Against Green Bay, it doesn't matter. He's going to get work. He's an explosive player. He's going to break a deep one. I absolutely love running it back with Miles Sanders. That is my take on this game. You can play Goddard. I'm not touching a Philly watcher. I'm not touching, Carson Wentz. But I think this Packers offense, despite whatever pass rush Philly brings, I think Fletcher Cox is good to go. As good as a pass rush as Philly has, Aaron Rodgers doesn't take sacks. So I'm not too worried about that. It may hinder his upside, but it's hard to run on Philly. So I think this is a day where Rodgers throws for 3 to 4 touchdowns and just racks up the points that way. How about you?
Yep. Retweet. The only thing, I'm not playing any Philly wide receivers or tight ends. Carson Wentz is a noodle arm in training. Only reason why he's not an official noodle arm yet is because he's under 40 years old, but guy blows. So I'll take Miles Sanders all day. Miles Sanders is, we've been preaching this for weeks now. Miles Sanders, more yards per carry than Dalvin Cook. Free Miles Sanders. Give the man 20 touches and watch him put up 150 yards today.
All right.
Miles
Moving
Sanders.
on to the next game. Yeah, I love Miles Sanders. Patriots Chargers, I'm fading this game as a whole, but I think Eckler is a great play, and I think Damian Harris is one of those sleepy guys that Sleepy Damian, we'll call him. A little political joke, right? When everybody's going with Montgomery and Booker and Gaskin, we talked about Kareem Hunt is a perfect pivot away from that, guys. I think Damian Harris against a 31st ranked run defense, DVOA, in the Chargers, they cannot stop the run. I think the Patriots suck against the run too. I think Damian Harris is all right. He's probably more of a FanDuel guy for me because it's just yards and touchdowns. He's not going to get you catches. But Austin Eckler, I think, is a fine play. He's the most popular running back on the slate now over Devontae Booker and Montgomery. I just don't like this game. I don't think the Patriots play fast at all. I think they find a way to grind this out and win. So I'll take them plus the 2 points. I think they are right now. I won't. That's not a favorite bet of mine by any means, but I just have no read for this game, so I don't want to touch it. I think it's my afternoon. I'd rather go Rams and Arizona, and then Philly Green Bay.
Yeah. Top play for me in this game is Austin Eckler. With Bill Belichick scheming out Keenan Allen somehow, some way, he always finds a way to do it. Austin Eckler last week, 11 catches on 16 targets. That would put him into. He would be the wide receiver 1 on a slate with 11 catches for 80-something yards on 16 targets. So the fact that he's doing that out of the backfield, love Austin Eckler. And the reason, just to clarify too, for people that have been asking in Discord and why we're saying Chargers D, it's not that the Pats will put up 0 points. It's more so that when you're punting defense like that, you need somebody that could cause a turnover, and Joey Bosa is that guy today. So in that punting range where you're talking about defenses like the Falcons or the Lions, like these are games that we're stacking. A $2,600 Chargers defense on DraftKings for me. Are they going to give up some points? Yeah, but I'll take my risk on Joey Bosa wrecking some havoc, sacking Cam Newton, and they are turnover prone this offense. So I like Eckler. I like the Chargers D, and on the Pats side, if you're playing anybody, it's Damian Harris. That's it.
Love it. All right, let's get to some questions. I know we got a bunch rolling in. Any issues with these two for cash? I like to just make one lineup though.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, Carson, Devontae Adams, AJ Brown. Would you play AJ Brown in cash? Oh,
I'm
Mooney.
fine with it. I'm fine with it, but you cannot play Mooney. So
I think you can. If you're not, I think when I wrote that article, I was very high on Mooney and down on Kuti. But now with Coulter out, I think just make Mooney Colty, right? Or Kuti, right?
Yeah, if you need that punting range, you need Kuti. If you want to go with the chalk of all chalk, you need Brandon Cooks and Cat. Like I'm not building my cash lineup without Brandon Cooks simply because he's going to be 70% owned in cash, and if he scores, I'm not taking that chance.
100% agreed. If you're not using Cooks, at least go down to Kuti because they're both going to be.
You need one of the two. You guaranteed you need one of the two.
Love it. Woods has a 6.5 catch prop. That's awesome. So that's my run back with Kyler.
He's going to get that just on bubble screens. Let's go.
Big Dave here. A-Rod, Hunt, J-Rob, Chark, A-Rob,
My God, I love that.
Thielen,
What a
first year
lineup.
Booker. Yeah, that's badass. Let's
What
go
a
to work,
lineup.
man. Let's go.
Let's go.
I don't
like the
no,
logo. I'm not a fan of the logo. I think
Yeah,
we could change that. We could change that for another Chicago team logo, but
Yeah, we probably
the
should.
lineup's fire.
All right. Yeah, it's just like -2 or 3 points for the Cubs thing.
Yeah.
If that's your DK icon too, that's usually like -2 just to start. So change that up.
We factor that into the model too. So
See ya, the most beautiful guy in the world, doing a few GPP stacks with Kyler, Hope, and AC. Yeah, I'm in. Let's go with Kyler. If
wheels
we're
up.
not scared of him. Slot receiver versus AC.
MVP.
I'm loving Cup. Yes, sir. We love Cup too. Woods, both,
Yeah.
whatever you want to do. Thoughts on Cousins, Jefferson, Thielen, Chark, Jr. stack? I love it. Run it. I love Chark. Julio Jones. Active.
Do a double stack with J-Rob on the other side too.
Akers sleeper. That's a hot take. I'm out. I'm not playing a running back with three guys getting carries in it, but I liked what I saw out of Akers last week. He's explosive, man. He's a fun player to watch. I hope he finally does go because I drafted him way too early in a lot of season-long leagues. Cash, A-Rod, J-Rob. That's confusing together. Montgomery, Cooks, Pittman, Thielen, Tanyan, Carson, Chargers. Let's go. I love that too. Carson's going to be like 0% owned cash, so if he has a day, you're skyrocketing. Let's go. Goff, Henry, Carson, Cup, Woods. I like that. It's getting exposure to that game. You cool with that?
Yep.
All right. Strategy-wise, you play all your cash lineups in a GPP as well. I keep them separate personally, but there have been times that my cash lineup has been my best lineup of the day and would have smashed in GPP. So I don't know. I'd ask around. What do you think, Ghost? I know Brian plays a Millie Maker. So, if you made a cash lineup, throw it in the Millie Maker because, you're shooting for the moon when you play those tournaments. You cannot live with yourself if your cash lineup would have placed, top 100 in the Millie Maker or something like that, right? You got to play it just because if you're a Millie Maker player, any lineup you build, it's like you ever went to the horse track. If you ever got punched the wrong ticket when you were betting on a horse, maybe this is just my degenerate ass, but there's a rule. I worked at the horse track too in college. I was at the OTB. So great industry for me to get into early, of course. But if you ever punch the wrong ticket, any gambler knows out there, you cannot delete it. You got to just take it because I don't know, it's bad juju. So if you ever made a lineup, I put it in the Millionaire Maker no matter what. Anything you built, put it in there if you play those tournaments. Gaskin, Woods, Cup. Pick one.
Woods.
I would like to know the scoring system, but I would, if it's half point or less PPR, if it's half point or standard, I'm going Gaskin. If it's full point,
I assume that's on DraftKings because they're all pretty close in salary. On FanDuel, Woods is 7,100. Gaskin's 55. It's a different vibe.
Free square on FanDuel.
Yeah.
I would lean. I'm going Gaskin, then Woods, then Cup. But that's tough. Fade Watson for me, yes. I'm not going to tell you to do it if that's your guy. There's not many. There's no one with as high as upside as Deshaun Watson. I'm just out with Fuller there. So I don't even know what this is. Is this UFC or something? What is this?
I have no idea what that is.
All right, I'm gonna go with Bottas then. I'm here to answer questions. Give me that guy. Actually, go with Verstappen. He sounds like Russian. And he's a badass. So let's go with that. It's James Robinson. Okay, yeah, Julian. We knew your build. You're good, man. I love that build.
Our boy, let's go.
Where did I go? Man, there are so many questions. Tanya, where do we go? Sorry, trying to find another question. I want to get everybody's questions in. Ooh, Hunter Chuck. This is a good one.
Hunt.
Let's get out of here in 5-6 minutes, but we can get through some questions. Hunt. Yeah. Oh, man. I love Chuck so much too. But
see, if you're listening, can you check if Jeffrey Simmons is in or out for the Titans, please?
That would be huge. DK, Harvey, A-Rod, Carson, James Robinson, Chark, Perriman, Tanyan, Booker, Jets. I kind of like the A-Rod without Devontae Adams. It's kind of different, and you're getting pretty weird with the rest of that line. I like that. Let's go. Remember, put Carson in your flex in case you have to get off of him for whatever reason.
Swap Booker for Monty. Swap because you're playing Jets D.
Yes, that too. Good call. Yeah. Anytime Booker scores a touchdown, your defense is losing points. You're not getting that 6 points, as your lineup should be going up. Instead, it's kind of fighting itself.
They're both equally as chalky. So swap Booker for Monty, 1 for 1.
Yep. Put Carson in the flex instead of that Monty spot. We'll put in running back. DK Cash, Rogers, Carson, Robinson, Montgomery, Adams, Cooks, Perriman, first year Bears. I'm in. I like that a ton, man. That's powerful. You good with that? I kind of love that, actually.
Yep.
Do we need Carson
and
Cash like that? Would you rather go to Gaskin or would you keep Carson in there?
It like in my cash lineup, I usually get different in 1, maybe 2 spots, like based on ownership. And Carson could be that guy this week, especially if everyone's gonna play Booker, Montgomery, Gaskin, or they're gonna go Booker, Montgomery with Dalvin Cook. So I think even guys like James Robinson, his ownership has gone down by 10+% in the past 24 hours. So I love these mid-range running back. You could go Eckler, Carson, James Robinson. I'm cool with all 3 in cash. I'm playing James Robinson in cash, that's for sure.
I'm in between personally. To give you my actual lineup, I'm in between going with James Robinson, Miles Sanders, or Chris Carson in cash. So obviously my defense has to change when I do that. But right now I'm going with, I think, Sanders and the Bears defense. I'm looking to maybe go Carson, Bears defense, and upgrade tight end. But
James Robinson's coming down to close to 10% ownership. And he was at 30 like 48 hours ago.
Dave, this is a new question. Murray, Robinson, Eckler, Woods, Cup. That's your lineup with the Woods and Cup. I'll let you sign off if you like. I love the Hunt, though, man. Let's go Kareem Hunt. If he goes nuts, we should retire.
I absolutely love that lineup. See, that's what we were talking about. You go Murray, reverse stack with Woods and Cup. You get 2 mid-range running back, Robinson, Eckler. Hunt is our GPP special, bro. I absolutely love that lineup.
Honestly, play that in the afternoon only slate too. Obviously, you're gonna have to move some of these guys away, but the way that you have that built, I think you'd really have a good feel for the afternoon only slate. So a lot of less players that could burn you. I'd go to that slate too. Elder Robinson or Woods. For me, it's A-Rob. By a nose. I like Woods. I know Woods has a really good prop, but I'm going with how banged up Detroit is. The Bears need a win. This should be a big day for A-Rob. If they take Keenan away, if Mike Williams finally for the big game, man, I hope that's the case, but I don't know. I just don't like that game. I'd rather just go with Eckler. Top plays at each position. We'll get that in 2 seconds. Yeah, 2 more questions. Trubisky, Carson. I don't know what kind of lineup this is. Montgomery, Pittman, Robinson, Woods, Joe. That better be a GPP.
That's lineup. A GPP. I don't know. Like, you don't need it because we were saying like Detroit might struggle to move the ball, but you have 3 Chicago guys in there. You might want to get Hawk on the way back. Yep. If it was just Trubisky, A-Rob, then okay. But the fact that you have Monty in there too, like, you need multiple touchdowns from them. So get Hawkinson on the way back, as much as I love Tanyan.
All right. Let's go. Quinn. Quinn's a good dude. I think he's our serious guy. Serious XM. Cousins, Gore. Oh, man. This is different. Kamara, Adams. This is like a 0% owned lineup. Chark, Pittman, Rudolph, Carson, Bears. What do you think? I have not made a lineup with Alvin Kamara in it. I do like, Cousins and with Chark in there makes a ton of sense. Is there any way, man, how do we get?
I think you can just switch Gore and Kamara for 2 $5,500 running backs.
Gore and Kamara to 2 of them, and then what would you try to move Pittman up to Thielen or Jefferson? I think that's the guy you really want with Kirk. I do like Kirk today. I think it's a really good spot.
And you could go down. You could go down from Rudolph to Tanyan or
Fersker.
All the way down.
That's a ballsy ass lineup though, Quinn. I like that, dude.
I love it.
Just maybe a couple different changes, but you don't have. Do you have to use Jefferson or Thielen?
Because I don't think so. Especially since it's cash, you could play Cousins naked. That way, if he throws to throws a touchdown to BC Johnson, you're not on full tilt because you don't have a stack there. So you just have Cousins.
Yeah, just don't play Kamara in cash, in my opinion. All right, GPP: A-Rod, Sanders, J-Rob, Adams, Chark, Perriman, Firster, Carson, Jets. Enjoy the money. I love that lineup. All right. No idea about Simmons. Simmons is active.
Kareem Hunt.
All right. Kareem Hunt season. I know it's still a good spot for Nick Chubb, but not as good. Titans inactive. Nick Westbrook, that's the receiver. Adoree, our boy. Jeffrey Simmons and Roger Saffold active. So that's Roger Saffold's good for Tannehill and also Derrick Henry. Sanders or Hunt? Sanders for me. What's your answer? You dog, you want to play Hunt?
I feel like we're going 1-1 every single question today. It's never happened.
Dude, go with Sanders. It's Green Bay, man.
Yeah.
And Simmons is in it. So the running game against.
I'll go with Sanders because you're my boy. I'll go with Sanders.
Thank you. All right. You didn't have to do it. All right. Quarterback, top play, top value. Or top play, top punt. I'm going Rodgers, Trubisky.
Tannehill, Trubisky.
Running back, top play. I'm going to skip. I'm going to go Chris Carson as my top play. I'm still going Kareem Hunt as my punt. I'm going to fade the top guys of Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry because you know to play them. If you can afford them, you play them. You don't need us to tell you to play those guys.
James Robinson.
Oh, dude, I'm scared that I don't have enough James Robinson with how much you like
James
him.
Robinson.
And he's an Illinois State Redbird. Harvard of the Midwest for those out there. Receiver, do you have any punt play? It's Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt on DraftKings, on FanDuel.
Gaskin, right? Way too cheap.
Got to be Gaskin at 5,500. That's a real joke. I mean, there's no one in that range that's more like Frank. Like to put into perspective, Frank Gore is like 53 or 5,400 last time I checked. So if you get Gaskin at 55, Booker at 6K, and even Monty at 62, all the chalk is really cheap.
All right, receiver. My top play is surprisingly, it's going to be AJ Brown. I think he's in a great spot with how banged up Cleveland secondary is. I'm going with AJ Brown, and he's under 10% owned. He's maybe 5% owned, and I have a couple different punts because I think you should really consider all of them: DJ Chark, Michael Pittman, and then one of Mims or Brashad Perriman. But Henry Ruggs does score a touchdown today. I did mention that earlier. Henry Ruggs' price is stupid high for how
I was going to take AJ Brown. Damn it. Give me Allen Robinson. And for a punt, Rashard Higgins. I'm sticking to it. Rashard Higgins.
Sick bastard, man. If that goes off, I will, I'll bow down.
Last week was Gabe Davis. We'll see if we can make it 2 in a row here.
Oh, yeah. Tight end. This one's easy. Waller and Tanyan.
Yeah. Waller, Tanyan, Ferkser. And and GBPs, my number one is Hawkinson. I know it's not top or value, like in the middle. My top GBP is TJ Hawkinson.
All right, I'm going to answer these 2 questions and we'll get out of here. DK Cash, Rodgers, absolutely. Eckler, yes. Robinson, yes. Devontae, yes. Brandon Cooks, Mims, first year. Montgomery, Jets D. Cool with it, yeah. The defense is weak, but we really don't care about defense and cash unless it's like a team that's going to be 40% owned, and they're not going to be today. Montgomery and Robinson, Trubisky, okay in the same lineup, yeah. And honestly, dude, Montgomery catches passes, so there's a very good chance. I mean, the first game, the last time that Trubisky and the Bears played the Lions, he threw a touchdown pass to Montgomery, if I remember correctly. So yeah, they correlate fine. There's no one taking, and that was with Cohen healthy. So now there's literally no one taking snaps away.
Trubisky loves throwing to Tariq Cohen, and now that he's been out all season, Monty's gonna get what's his catch prop? I'm actually curious for that bet. Do you have Monty's catch prop?
Yeah, I can right now. Probably 3.5. 3.5 catches and 21.5 receiving yards.
I'm taking the over on the yards there. I like
All
that.
right. Take the over on the catches too. Yeah, that's why I like Montgomery a little bit more than Booker, just because his involvement in the pass game. Then our last question looks like spam. So that's good. We'll end. You see that one? All right. Good luck. Thank you all so much for joining. We greatly appreciate it. We hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving last week and enjoyed the slate. I know we had so many green screen screenshots last week. People were just crushing it. Absolutely crushing it at Win Daily last week. So we wish you all the best of luck. Feel free to DM us on Twitter. Both of our handles are right here if you need us. If you're not signed up for Win Daily, that's totally fine too. I will never push you to do anything you don't want to do, but feel free to just reach out to us on Twitter or check out the website, and a ton of good tools out there to help you. As people are getting hot right now. I know golf, man, what Sia and the golf guys are doing, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to say his name without his consent, but There is a member in our golf chat right now. I think he plays football too. Very active guy at Win Daily. Is cashing for 120,000 right now, and I think he only put in like 200 or $300. So let's go. We're sweating golf
Fingers
today as a
crossed.
family. Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
I'm excited for you. So, well I got to see what your lineup is again, but I'll turn on golf here and sweat it with you, my dude. Thank you all for joining. Ghost, any final thoughts?
That's it. Enjoy the money this week. We're in a good spot.
Good luck, folks.